Hello there, I'm Colin Meyer, and here's my healthcare timeline. So, the earliest form of healthcare, the pre 20th century, like early 1900s, treatment was basic and inexpensive, and the earliest insurance was essentially money given to workers who were sick or injured relating to the job. And basically, they were just given money as compensation for making up lost wages while they were not there. Anyway, number two is health insurance. We know today originated from Baylor University Hospital in the 1920s. An example of this was that teachers could pay $6 per year to be eligible for a 21-day stay if the person needed to be treated at the hospital. These plans were also funded by religious charities and called Blue Cross plans. You may be familiar with Blue Cross, Blue Shield. That's where it originally came from. Number three is new tech for healthcare. In the 1930s and 40s, new tech became available, such as the first intravenous anesthetic. Sorry, I can't speak. And in the 40s, ventilators such as the iron lung, which you put on your screen. We reviewed it in class. And that helped out tremendously. And also penicillin was a huge one, which could definitely fight infection and saved a lot of lives. So, for number four, the next big development came after World War II was employer-based healthcare insurance. Due to companies providing health insurance, that meant the number of insured American citizens skyrocketed from 10% to 60%, which that's always a good thing. The next one, number five, the next event was a shift to a profit model of health insurance. Instead of being charitable like it started at Baylor University, it went to a for-profit model. So now, companies could now charge insurance rates based on age and other demographics. And by the 1990s, even the old Blue Cross model, the charitable plan, went to a for-profit model. The next event I would like to talk about is the age of hospitals. From 1997 to 2012, hospital services grew an insane 149%. And that's insane, I think. And that was one of the biggest things that grew when it came to healthcare, is the hospital services that came with, the insurance. The next thing was Medicare. That's a huge event. In 1965, Medicare, introduced by the federal government, helped citizens over 65 pay for their hospital services, which is it's a great thing. But during the 60s, a lot of people under 65, and more specifically about 80% of people, had good insurance compared to today, where it's a little hard out there. The next event I'd like to talk about is the FDA. And so the FDA in 1906, the Wiley Act, which was passed by Congress, was formed to regulate drug safety. It was later replaced by the more modern Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act in 1938. And that's the reason why they had to update that is in 1930, where's it at? It was a drug company essentially was making antifreeze or putting antifreeze in their medication, and it killed like 100 people, which that's terrible. And so the government responded by creating the more modern Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act of 1938. Number 9, we'll talk about patents. So patents in the 1980s, introduced by the Bayh-Dole Act, allowed scientists, universities, and companies to obtain patents from government-funded research. And so that's how I think that's a good thing. But what you later talked about too is due to those patents, and then another act in 1984, can't think of it right off the top of my head, basically that kind of made a monopoly on patents to certain companies in certain places and increased the drug prices, essentially, which I thought wasn't good. Number 10, my final event, and I decided to choose this one because I thought it was kind of funny, was in 1997, the FDA allowed advertising for drugs. And so that's what we see every time we turn on a TV, is some form of drug advertisement, Ozempic, or whatever. But you know what I'm talking about. Everyone's seen them, and I think that's a huge event, and I didn't realize that was only 1997 was when they allowed that. So yeah, those are my 10 events. Thank you.